So, let's take a seat and we'll start class. So, I want to start off reading from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Let's go to the Lord in prayer first. Dear Heavenly Father, we again are so grateful for the opportunity to learn more about this recent mission trip that we took, and so grateful that this congregation and you provided for us to do this, Lord. And we are grateful for all that's been done, and thank you for everything and all the people that were in part of this and the works that got done. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. So on the first day, this was the group that went, and there was 27 of us, and as you can see, Levi was very excited to go. he was in the running blocks ready to run to go, so. But this was all of us, and we were excited to go. On that first day, we traveled about 7 hours to Davenport, Iowa, which was right in here. It was a great trip. Nobody got lost, and we all had a safe trip. And this is part of the group's fun that they had in the car. This was the Ingalls' car. We had 5 cars that went on the trip, separate. When we got to Davenport, Iowa, we went to the Davenport Central Church of Christ. These were the 3 people that met us there. This is the acting preacher right now, Kermit. And these 2 gentlemen, Jim and Kermit, are the acting elders. They don't have an actual eldership, but they're the acting ones. And this is Tim's wife, Sherry. The good thing about this congregation that we weren't expecting is they agreed to feed us. So when we got there at about 8:30 at night, they had hamburgers and hot dogs ready for us right when we got there. So, and they had all these tables set up. It was just great service that they provided. So the Lord blessed us in that we weren't really expecting. I did give a devotion that night. This picture is during this one. Whoops. This one here is during the devotion time. Kids had some time to play after the meal. So that was that. This was our morning breakfast. They surprised us again with breakfast, so we all ate together. And then this was the group that was there. So that was our day 1 trip, and on to day 2. We went from Davenport all the way to Pleasant Plain, which again was another 7 hours drive. So we had 14-hour total drive, or 900 miles. It was quite lengthy in travel, but we all made it safely to Pleasant Plain. This car here was traveling faces and having fun with snacks. We arrived about 8 o'clock at night, or thereabout something, and we got down, and the ladies had already prepared pizza for us. They had to go pick it up, but this was us eating. Again, getting ready. And Zach did a Devo that night that was fabulous. So we get to Tuesday, we actually got to do our work there. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we did work there. The first day that we did some landscaping, we cut trees, we did some mechanical work, and some organizing, and we'll get into that. So we start with the landscaping. This was a house that was an abandoned house at the place. Nobody was staying at it. And the previous person was the actual preacher at the facility. And he liked to do landscaping, but he hasn't been there for 2 years, and the stuff is really overgrown, and it was just nasty. So they had our group come in and cut everything out. So this is one of the before pictures of it. They're starting to get stuff cut out around the house. These rose bushes had thorns and all kinds of stuff, so it was just messy. But here's some kids working. There they've got it all cleaned out, and it's really starting to look nice compared to what it was at the beginning. And on the front of the house, they had some shrubs, so they needed to clean them out. They were overgrowing each other, and they were killing each other. Again, you can see how the bush here is overgrowing. Whoops. Right here, it's way overgrowing the actual bush. So cutting them down and cleaning up. The girls here actually got to use an old-fashioned saw, so they were pretty excited that they actually were able to cut that tree down by themselves. So that was pretty funny. So more of the kids working, and just good work's going on there with landscaping. Getting the trees cut, bushes trimmed. Then they had these man-made flower beds on this property of this house, and they hadn't been planted in over 3 years, so they was just mess. So we cleaned all of them up. And they're all empty and stuff, and all the debris was all cleaned up, so it was really neat. Then we go into what the gentleman that was there, Scott, was the maintenance guy, and his biggest thing, because we had some of the gentlemen that could use chainsaws going that actually did work. Most of the time it's just kids, but we told them that adults would help. So he was very excited to get some trees cut down with chainsaws. So we brought some men here. We're getting ready, getting chainsaws ready to prepare. And we actually had 3 trees to cut down. This one is 1, this one was 2, and this one back here was 3. He wanted all 3 of those cut down. And the first one here really leaned out over this man-made lake, so that one took some time to get that one down, but we got it down. All the kids were helping cut with their own chainsaws that we use, so everybody got to use one. And part of my Devo the first night was a fear that I had. When I was a kid, I had a tragic accident with a chainsaw, so I had never used a chainsaw before in my life, and I don't like being around one, but I actually got to cut part of the tree down, so I got over a fear with the Lord, so that was a blessing. But yeah, just cutting the trees down, it's already starting to look like you can actually see the lake. You couldn't see it from the east side of the lake, so everybody was helping haul trees away and stuff, so it was just a great blessing. This pile of trees was the largest one that he had ever seen. He burns every year, but that was the largest pile he had ever seen, so those 3 trees getting out of there, the guy was so happy about. I think, oh no, it's in a later one. I'll show you where we even got to bring back some of Ohio with us, a few of us. Mechanical work. When we got there the first night, we went on a tour of the place, and he didn't realize all of what we were bringing, and I told him we have a mechanic, and Jesse was the king of the group. He did a lot of stuff that this guy was not expecting us to do, and it was fabulous. First thing that Jesse got to do was fix his golf cart. They had 2 golf carts on the property, and he had to currently drive his mother-in-law's, or his mother's. And he wanted this one started, so we all had to push it over to where Jesse would work on it. and Jesse got it started right away and running. So that guy was just excited about that alone, that he got to use his own golf cart now. Here are all the kids going out to testing to make sure that Jesse got it working right, and they were pretty excited they got to drive, so Jesse got it working good for him. And then he had all kinds of different projects that this guy wanted. Here's a lawn tractor that Jesse worked on, a stump grinder that this is one of the items that Jesse couldn't get going, but the guy was okay with it, but he got most everything else that he was working. Jesse got to work in a big barn, and there was critters in there with him, so he got to have an up-close encounter with a spider, and he had to take a break, so he sat on one of an old toilets and took a break. That was in this barn. Lunchtime, the ladies really provided a great service for us, and that was Elizabeth and Sarah. Every time that we had lunch scheduled, they would schedule it to the exact almost minute, and we were able to come in and eat. And because the meals were so good and the work was hard, we had some that took a nap. So Zach got tired and took a nap. We didn't get any pictures of the organizing the first day, but Shelby and Cheryl got assigned this old gym that had old jerseys from the school and some pots and pans and just all kinds of just stuff stored all over the place. And they went through and organized it throughout the stuff that the mice had gotten to, and organized it and did a detailed inventory list. And their staff was just amazed about that. So those two did a great job on that day organizing their stuff. And after the first day, it was like 90-some degrees there that day. And Kim and I had talked, and we said that we would take everybody swimming and to get ice cream if things went well. And things went great that first day until we got to the pool. We got about a block away, and I was calling them to tell them that we got there, and they said, "Oh, we forgot to tell you, the pool's closed for a swim meet." They had a swim meet there, so the pool wasn't open. So a couple kids, well, most of them were disappointed about that, but we got to go, and we still got them ice cream. We went to this facility, and Elizabeth asked one of the ladies, we were at a actual fitness center, so everybody's there to lose weight and stuff, but she went and ran somebody down and asked them, "Where's the best place to go get ice cream?" And I said, that's probably not a good thing to go to ask somebody that's there to lose weight to ask them how to gain weight. But she recommended this Whippy Dots. And when kids ordered an ice cream cone, they personalize each face. So they got their own personalized ice cream cone. This one was a chocolate face. This one's a blue one. But yeah, each kid got their own personalized, so it was a really neat experience for these kids, and they just loved the ice cream. But yeah, you can tell on her face how hot it was that day. She was really tired, but glad to get her ice cream for a treat that night. The second day that we got there, we had some more landscaping to do, more mechanical work for Jesse. There was a construction house that they called their electric house, but it was more of a garage. And then the ladies got into talking with them, and they had us basically paint the whole inside of their office building. So we got to do that. So here's our morning breakfast that our ladies had prepared us. We had breakfast burritos that day. So we're getting ready to get out and get at it. Here the two ladies are. They just, again, I can't say enough for those two ladies, what they did. And obviously after we eat, we had a little mess. So this one, Maddie kind of was our daycare lady. She took care of all the kids that weren't able to go outside and work, and she did all the cleaning and stuff, and it just made everything go good. And these two are ready to get out and get at it. So they went out to do some landscaping. This was right out in front of their main office. This is their gazebo, and you can't even see it from the road. That's how overrun with bushes and shrubs and just junk. So, and unfortunately, as soon as we got ready to go, it started pouring. So we're all hiding out from the rain there. And they're starting to the rain had just stopped, so they're getting going. And they're digging out trees and shrubs, cutting things down, and the cleanup starts. Unfortunately, some of the pictures are blurry because of internet access and stuff, but yeah, just continuing to get things cleaned up. So, but yeah, you can already start to see how the road is over here, and you can already see through it, and you couldn't see that when we started. So they're really getting shrubs and stuff cleaned out. And there he's hauling it away, wondering if I can get more in there. So, and after they did that, there's a high school group or the kids that are actually there, do all the mowing, but they don't do anything with the sidewalks. And he wanted us to clean up all the grass and shrubs and stuff that was growing in the sidewalks. So that's what they're all doing here on both of those pictures. So, yeah, thumbs up, I got it all. So yeah, they continue to go all down all the sidewalks. This is all right in front of their main office building. So yeah, another thumbs up that I'm getting it. So yeah, this is their main office building right here that controls all of the 8 houses that are on property with the kids. So again, Jesse, the second day, they had him out in the barn doing more mechanical work. This was donated to the organization, the Midwestern Homes. It was a greens mower. The landscaper the maintenance guy likes golfing, so he made a man-made 9-hole golf course out on the property. And I told him that I like golfing, so I got to golf a few holes on it. It was different golfing in a pasture, but it was fun. But yeah, this was donated. You didn't get that one started, did you, Jesse? That was another one he didn't.
Intermittently I did.
But yeah, he did a couple different tractors that day, and I don't know, 2 lawnmowers, stand up upright, 60-inch lawnmowers that he got going that were John Deere. So that guy he couldn't say enough good stuff about Jesse, and it was amazing having Jesse there. So this is their electric shed. We had to this whole side here was all rotten, and we had to cut all that out and put in new plank board. And the previous group that was there, and that's what this stuff is, they took this window out and recessed it too far, so it was still leaking, which if anybody knows anything about electricity, if you got water running on electricity, that should have probably already burnt down with shorts, especially with the way the wiring was inside that. Up underneath this little faucet, there was holes. This side was all holes. And then we filled in all them holes, and so then it was airtight. So they had us put in 2 vents on each side, and you'll get to see those pictures. So we put in 2 vents, cut all the moldy stuff, and then filled in all the other stuff so the varmints can't get in there and cut up the wiring. So then we go to the painting the second day that we were there. The kids found some rocks when they were doing landscaping around that house the previous day, and here they're painting those rocks. And here's their products that they got from that. So our kids left their heart in Ohio. They put just a lot of work into that. And they got to paint the inside of this office all the way around. So here the ladies are painting them walls. And Andy here even got to take some of the walls home with her. So yeah, they were all excited. If you can see in the back of this picture here is an ugly yellow color. That was the whole color of the whole place. It was just a god-awful, ugly yellow. So the ladies really made this place look nice. And the one secretary that was in the way back that, I don't know what her job was just amazed that she got rid of that god-awful, ugly yellow. So these ladies did a fabulous job working on that facility. So after we got done working Wednesday night, we went to the Goshen Church of Christ, and that's where we all met to do our Wednesday night class. It was an interesting experience. We had never been to a one-cupper organization before, or I hadn't anyway. Zach had been, but it was different, but they still did a fabulous job. They don't have classes at all. Everything is a worship service. But on Wednesday night, we didn't have the Lord's Supper. That was the only thing different. We had prayers and songs, but yeah, it was a good congregation. They were real friendly. So that was that day, the end of the day. So we come into day 5, and we did more work. Along their school, they have benches all around that he wanted cleaned up. We power washed them and stained them. They finished up some touch work of painting inside the house, or inside their office building. They brought in mulch and stuff for the finishing of the landscaping, and we finished working around that electric shed, framing that one last window that they put in too far so it wouldn't leak. Staining. So we got all these benches all around the place. There was like 10 of them, but 2 of them we couldn't get to, but we had them. And then the one house that we did work at had a swing set that was falling apart, and me and Troy braced that up better, and you'll see in a little bit how that was working, but we wouldn't have been able to swing on it earlier. But here we got some tables and benches. We're all painting and staining after we had cleaned them up. Some more of them. And they wanted them braced because of warping and rottingness, so we fixed some of the boards by bracing them. But here's the difference. This is before and this is after. So they didn't quite look like this because we had already power washed them, but yeah, they were pretty nasty. Like I said, the kids sit on these during school and after school, so they were really happy. But yeah, this is their current school that they have the school in, and they're all lined up all outside here. So we really, really helped them out there. And this is the finished product of the painting. And this was actually before, so the kids had punched holes in the walls, so the guy had fixed them, but this was the only wall he wanted painted. But they actually painted the whole building, so the inside. So this is the after. So this is that same picture just from a different angle. So it really looked nice in there. And again, these walls were all that ugly yellow. So see, even all the way down the hallways was yellow. So finishing the landscaping that we had started. The girls also called around, and that was Elizabeth and Sarah, and they got Home Depot to donate these landscaping rocks or blocks that we got to put around the yard. So these kids were carrying them from the car out to the landscaping. So they're going to put them all along this for edging. So that was pretty cool that the girls were able to call during the day. And they also called one of the grocery stores, and they donated food that we'll eat later tonight, so that this night. And here's the pile of mulch that they had to move. They had it delivered on a dump truck, but they just delivered it there. And there's Clint moving it by wheelbarrow. And they're starting to put it out there and smooth it out. And here the kids took all their rocks and they placed them out in this house. So we literally left our mark in Ohio. And right there it actually says our name. So this was that bench we got to tear apart and actually put back together. And Jesse and Jamie proved that we did good work. So this was in the front of that house that they were doing all their landscaping. They put the swing back. So construction, go back to this. So here's Jesse putting in those 2 vents. There's one on each side. This is the front side. And then Troy is putting an spray on it. So this whole side and this whole side, if you can look, it's hard to see, but this whole building was surrounded by poison oak. The previous group had gone through and cut it all out, so I can't imagine what they look like compared to what we look like. But he's putting on a thing that's supposed to prevent poison oak from growing on that. So the kids came out to deliver us that power washer that Troy was using, and they found our fishing rods. So they decided to see if they could catch some fish. So a few of them went fishing. And Zach was the only one to catch anything. I think he caught a few bluegills. But here's the front side. This is all those trees. This is tree number 3. So all that debris is all gone, and you can see how well that lake looks. You couldn't see it from the east side when we started, but they were really happy with that. So then we go out to our grill out. We were told when we went there that we would have to feed these kids one night, and we just agreed with Scott, the maintenance guy, that we would do it Thursday night. The ladies, again, they called the one grocery store, so they got cookies donated for this grill out for this. There was 22 people that were on site property that we fed, 12 kids and 10 house people, which included the maintenance guy and his wife, which they're not house people. So we got to feed them, which was really cool because that was the main interaction that we got with the kids, which I should mention that for HIPAA reasons, because they are awarded to the state of Ohio, we cannot have pictures of them. So there is no pictures of the kids in the slideshow. So I apologize for that, but that was their requirements of us. So if we did a slideshow, which I told them we were gonna, we can't have pictures of them because of the reasons for HIPAA. But out in front of, right in the middle of all the 8 houses, they had a little campfire setting. So that's kind of where we ate. And one of them had a hammock, so the kids thought they would play. And you can see here's one of the houses. A couple different swings, we didn't have to work on those. And then right here was their campfire, which we had a campfire that night and had some s'mores, and Clint did a Devo there. Again, kids playing on the swing sets. We got to play volleyball over here with a few of the kids. They had a 9-square game where all of our kids played together and played 9-square. So we had some pretty good interaction with the kids, and it was fun. Just swinging and having fun. Here's Jesse starting the fire for our camp fun. During the day when the kids weren't working, they played games. So here they were playing dolls. Some of them got to play cards. So here they are playing cards. And the one day they put on a play for, I think Elizabeth and Sarah maybe, and a couple other people that might have been in there. But yeah, they put on a play they made up, so that was pretty neat. These two again. So Kim and I budgeted $8 a meal. We didn't know. It was first try. Because of what they did, it cost the church $3.87 a person. It's just amazing that they fed us for that dollar amount. So the last night we were there, Kim and I had bought thank yous, so many of you got them, but we personally wrote them. This gentleman right here, that's Scott. He's the head maintenance guy. He was the guy that was under our control. So he is not part of the state of Ohio, so we could put him in. So, but yeah, that's the maintenance guy on the property of Midwestern Children's Home. And for our last day that we were there, we all went to the Ark, and that is the boat. If you guys haven't been there, you need to go. It's amazing. So we left Ohio, and there's the Midwestern Children's Home. So what did it cost us? For the food, again, it was amazing. I would have never guessed that, but $940 for all our meals, which again is 6 days. Gas for the 5 vehicles was $1,434. Miscellaneous, some of the items in that, for our grill out, we had to buy a propane tank for them. Odds and ends, bowls and cups. But anyway, and then the tickets for the Ark Encounter and the Creation Museum. Our car didn't go to the Creation Museum, so if anybody wants to say anything about the Creation Museum that did go, Ken. I was just flabbergasted at the Ark. But those tickets cost the church $1,639, so a total of $4,255. We did 2 fundraisers. One, a spaghetti night on a Wednesday night that we did, and we had $687 raised for that. We did a date night that Michelle organized, and we raised $385 that night. And Judy on her own did a fundraiser through her business that she owns and raised us $122. And the congregation itself gave us donations of $386. So we raised $4,280 and only spent $4,255. So it cost the church nothing for us to go, other than your guys' money that you donated to us, and we can't say enough thank yous for that. It was amazing. We had fun. We're excited. We're going to start looking for next year. So that was our trip. Is there any questions? Or anybody want to say anything that went on the trip that I didn't mention? Lisa, you have a question.
I was just going to say, I'm glad to see that you're planning to go again somewhere else, because I think this is such a great thing for kids to learn that it's not all about them. And I'm not saying that our kids are that way, but to instill that in our kids, it's so important. And thank you for all of you, for the adults that work with them. That's amazing, and I'm so thankful that you're going forward.
Thank you for that message, Lisa. And we are very excited. There's already been extra people that didn't get to go on this one that have come up and said, make sure we're on the list, because we want to go. So Thank you. Dave?
Could you tell us a little bit more about the children's home that you served?
Okay, when we originally started talking about it with Scott, it was supposed to be an orphanage and foster care. They have switched it over and it's just now foster care. They don't do any orphanage. It just was too expensive and the state has reallocated that, so it's just a foster care. When we were there, there was 12 kids, but there was supposed to be 15. 3 of the kids were in trouble and had been arrested and were sent to the Juvenile Detention Center, or JDC. The second day we were there, one of those 3 came back, and she came back in the morning and later escaped that afternoon, ran away. She got arrested again and sent to JDC. And Thursday night when we were eating at the picnic, the cops brought her back in handcuffs. So when we were there, there was 12 kids, 13 kids, 12 kids, and then 13 kids again. And each of the house parents had anywhere from 4 to 6 kids. So they do all the maintenance on the property as far as mowing. We did everything else that was needed to be done that week. But yeah, they just have foster care kids. There's no orphanage. So, does that answer your question?
Yep.
But yeah, there's 12 kids there the majority of the time we were there. Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
It looks like a sojourn and you're starting them young, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
We're looking at it like, yeah, we do that. You get 2 kids out there.
well, we had them as young as, I think, 2, Naomi is, so we took them young this year, so. But we had a blast. Any other questions or comments, or anybody that, again, went to the Creation Museum that we didn't go to that wants to say anything? But Judy, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be able to go with you. I don't have kids at that age that's going anymore, but I know your point is for the kids, and I think that's wonderful, but I think this is an amazing opportunity to be able to serve, not only serve the people, but serve together as a congregation. And I would encourage anybody that is going home to do so. I think it's amazing.
It was an amazing time, and there was people that I had never spent that much time with. I had never spent a full day with Cheryl. She is a delight. She is a delight. I feel bad that I've known her now for 6 years, that I have never spent that much time with her, but she is a delight. And Judy, she told us right away that we were going to have to stop probably every half hour along this trip. And Kim and I both looked at each other and go, can we get her in another car? Possibly. And the reason why she told us that is she just had a knee surgery, or had some work done on her knee, and that she just needed to get out. She was the last person in our car that would ask to stop. Somebody else was always asking, whether it was myself or Elijah or Marie. She was a trooper. I could not believe that. But it was fabulous. Go ahead, Cheryl.
And on that note, she was also the last one to go to sleep every night.
Does anybody want to say anything about the Creation Museum? Because I didn't get to go to that.
I wish I would have taken more pictures. It was just so amazing that you were just so captivated by everything in there that I don't even think I took a picture there.
That was the same way with the Ark. Everything was just so fabulous that you couldn't take that many pictures, but yeah, it was fabulous. Great.
So I just want to say a special thanks to you, Kim, for saying yes, we're going to do this, because it takes a lot of courage when you don't really know how this thing's going to turn out, all the amount of work that goes into it. So we appreciate you guys taking the lead on that. Thanks to all the parents and adults that went and made it a special time for everybody. I'm glad to hear you're doing it.
Thank you. Anything else? But our goal was to leave the place in a better space than what it was when we left it, and we definitely did. And we left our rocks there. But let's close in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, again, we were so grateful that you gave us this opportunity to go on this mission trip and provide works for your service, Lord. Continue to bless all the people that were there and all the people that didn't get to go there, and we're thankful for all the generous hearts that allowed this trip to happen. Continue to watch over this congregation and whatever position that you send us to next, Lord. We're here as children, and it says in the Bible, "Here am I, send me," Lord. We are here to go for you and continue to spread your good news of the gospel of Jesus, Lord. Continue to watch over all of us and forgive us when we fall short. And we ask this in your holy name. Amen. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you again for your support for this mission trip.